Look at the product on your desk, the service you just used, the website you just closed in frustration. Look at your own work, the project you just finished. It's broken, isn't it? Not the whole thing. The idea is fine. The core of it, it works. But the edges are a mess. The packaging is an afterthought. The setup is confusing. The software doesn't talk to the hardware. The error message is written by an engineer who doesn't speak human. The person you call for help has no idea what the person who sold it to you promised. It's a broken experience. And this is the disease of modern work. This is why 99% of what's out there is crap. It's crap because everyone is just a component. Someone has a job. They do their little piece, they meet their metrics, and they throw it over the wall to the next person who does their little piece. The engineers blame the designers blame marketing. Marketing blames sales. And everyone blames the customer. No one is responsible for the whole thing. No one is owning the experience from end to end. And the user, the customer, they feel it. They feel the disconnects. They feel the cracks where your organization failed. They feel the apathy. They feel that no one in the entire chain actually cared about them. You're shipping your org chart. You're shipping your internal politics. You're shipping a product designed by a committee that's allergic to a bold decision. This is not how you build something great. This is not how you build loyalty. This is not how you build something that lasts. If you want to build something that matters, if you want to create something insanely great, you have to stop thinking like a component. You have to stop doing your job and start taking responsibility. You have to own the entire stack, owning the entire stack. From the very beginning at Apple, we had a different idea. It wasn't just about building a computer. The world was full of those. Beige boxes, hobbyist kits, complex machines that required you to be an engineer just to turn them on. We wanted to build something else. We wanted to build a tool that felt like an extension of a person, a bicycle for the mind. And to do that, we knew we couldn't just build part of it. You can't create a seamless experience if you don't control the pieces. You can't make the software elegant if the hardware is clunky and ugly. You can't make the hardware beautiful if the software is a nightmare to use. It all has to work as one thing. This is the core principle. It's not about control for the sake of control. It's about responsibility. It's about owning the user's entire journey. From the moment they first see the ad, to the feeling they get when they walk into the store, to the unboxing. The unboxing. That's the first part of the product. It should be a beautiful, tactile, wonderful experience. It sets the stage to the first time they turn it on. That hello, it should be magic. To the way the cursor moves on the screen, the way the icons look, the way the menus work. It all has to be intuitive, simple, and elegant. And when it doesn't work, when they need help, that experience has to be just as thoughtful as the product itself. This is what end-to-end means. It means you are responsible for all of it. The hardware, the software, the marketing, the retail, the packaging, the support. It's all one product. The other guys, they couldn't do this. They were fragmented. One company made the hardware. Another company made the operating system. And 1,000 other companies made the software on top. The result? Chaos. 1,000 different ideas of what good was, compromise. We took the hard road. We decided to be responsible for the whole widget. It's harder. It's infinitely harder. But it's the only way. It's the only way to build something simple. It's the only way to build something beautiful. It's the only way to build something that actually works the way a human being wants it to work. You have to be willing to take responsibility for the entire experience. If you don't, you are leaving the most important parts of your work to chance. You are leaving it to a committee. And committees don't create magic. They create beige boxes. Design is not how it looks, it's how it works. So how do you do this? It starts with a framework, a way of thinking. The first step, you must design holistically. Stop. What do you think design means? Most people think it's a veneer, a coat of paint. They think it's how something looks. They're wrong. Design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. It's not about the skin, it's about the soul of the product. You can't add design at the end. You can't hire a designer to come in and make it pretty. It's too late. The soul is already missing. The design has to be baked in from the very beginning. From the first conversation, when we were building the original Macintosh, we didn't start with the chips. We started with the experience. What did we want it to feel like? We wanted it to be friendly, accessible. We wanted you to be able to play with it. That meant we needed a mouse. That meant we needed menus that pulled down. That meant we needed fonts. I went back to my experience at Reed College. I dropped out. I was sleeping on the floor, but I was dropping in on classes that fascinated me. One of them was calligraphy. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about kerning, about what makes typography beautiful. It was useless, right? A dropout learning calligraphy. It had zero practical application until it did. 10 years later, we're designing the Mac, and it all came flooding back. If I had never taken that class, the Mac would have never had beautiful, proportional fonts. And since Windows just copied the Mac, it's likely no personal computer would have them. We didn't just add fonts at the end. We designed the entire system around the idea that typography was beautiful and that it mattered. We designed it holistically. The hardware was built to support the software. The software was built to deliver the experience. This is what I mean by end-to-end. You can't just design your part. You have to understand the entire system. From the silicon chip to the pixel on the screen to the feeling in the user's gut, you have to be able to zoom out to the 30,000-foot view. What is this for? And zoom all the way in to the 1 pixel detail, all in the same meeting. This is how you get to simplicity. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. It's not just minimalism. It's not just a clean look. It's about getting to the core of the problem and finding the most elegant, simple human solution. And that kind of simplicity is hard. It's harder than complexity. You have to work like hell to get your thinking clean, to get all the junk out of the way. But when you do, you're not just making a product, you're making a statement. You're showing the world you care. The carpenter's obsession. You've designed the whole system. Now comes the second step. You must own every single detail. The details are the product. I remember when we were finishing the first Macintosh, the engineers were showing me the prototype, and I looked inside, I looked at the logic board. It was a mess. The chips weren't aligned. The connections were all over the place. It was functional, but it was ugly. I told them to go back and do it again. And they said, "Steve, what are you talking about? This is the inside of the machine. No one is ever going to see it." I told them, "But we will see it." A great carpenter, he's not going to use a cheap piece of plywood for the back of a cabinet, even though it's going to be up against the wall and no one will ever see it. He'll know it's there. He'll use a beautiful piece of wood. Why? For himself, for his craft, because he respects the work and he respects the cabinet and he respects the person who will own it. He is building something well. That is the standard. You must be a great carpenter. You must care about the details, especially the ones no one will ever see. This is not just about aesthetics. This is about trust. The user may never see the logic board, but they feel it. They feel the care that went into it. They feel that every single part of this object, this experience, was considered. They feel that someone, you, gave a damn. That's where loyalty comes from. Not from features, not from price. It comes from that deep, unspoken human connection. It comes from the user feeling that you respected them enough to do your absolute best work. The little details are the difference between a product that is good and a product that is insanely great. It's the curve of the corner. It's the sound the button makes. It's the way the box opens. It's the color of the screws. We argued over this stuff. We had meetings that lasted for hours about a font or a single icon. People thought we were crazy, but it mattered. It was the difference. You have to be obsessive. You have to be a little bit crazy. You have to care more than any rational person would. This is the only way to make something insanely great, if you believe this. If you believe that the details are the product, if you believe that your work is your signature, then you are one of us. This channel isn't for the good enough crowd. It's for the carpenters. It's for the artists. If that's you, then show it. Subscribe. We are building a community of people who believe that excellence, down to the last screw, is the only standard that matters. The feedback loop is not a bug report, so you've designed it holistically. You've obsessed over every detail, and you've shipped it. You're done, right? No, you're just getting started. This is the third step of the framework, and it's the one that makes the whole thing spin. You must close the feedback loop. Most companies, most people, they're terrified of feedback. They see a bug report, a customer complaint, or a one-star review, and they get defensive. They treat it as an insult, an annoyance. They say the user is stupid, they're using it wrong. What a colossal waste. A complaint is a gift, a bug report is a treasure. That is the market, your customer, telling you for free exactly where the cracks are in your experience. They are showing you the next detail to obsess over. You have to love your feedback loop. This is why we built the Apple stores. Everyone said we were crazy. The hardware business has no margins. You can't run your own retail. We didn't build the stores to sell computers. We built the stores to own the experience. And the most important part of that experience, it was closing the loop. It was having a place where a person, a smart, trained, empathetic person could talk to a customer face to face. A place where we could listen, where we could see their frustration, where we could understand how they were really using our products. That Genius Bar, that was the most valuable R&D department we ever created. It was the ultimate feedback loop. It turned a customer's worst moment, their frustration, their broken product, into our best moment. A chance to show them we cared. A chance to turn them into a customer for life. And a chance to learn in real time what we had to do better. You cannot own the end-to-end experience if you run away from the feedback. You have to run towards it. This applies to your own life too. Getting fired from Apple. That was the most brutal feedback loop of my life. The board, the company I had built, they told me, "You're failing." They kicked me out, and I was devastated. I was a public failure. I thought about running away, but after a while I started to listen. I started to see the feedback. I had been a difficult person to work with. I was headstrong. I didn't always listen. The feedback was painful, but it was true. That feedback loop forced me to change. It forced me to grow up. I went and founded NextT. I founded Pixar. I learned how to build companies again, but this time differently. I learned how to trust people. I learned that the work itself was the real reward. And when I came back to Apple, I was a different person. That feedback loop, as brutal as it was, made me better. It was the most important feature update of my life. You have to embrace your feedback loops. Your critics are your greatest teachers. Your failures are your most valuable lessons. Own them, learn from them, and close the loop. The 30-day end-to-end challenge. Okay, so now it's your turn. You're not going to just sit there and nod. You're going to do something. I have a challenge for you. A 30-day end-to-end challenge. I want you to stop being a component. I want you to stop doing your job and start owning the result. For the next 30 days, I want you to pick one project. Just one. It could be for your job, for your side hustle, for your life. I don't care. But you are going to own it. From the first spark of an idea to the final delivery and follow-up. If you're a programmer, you're not just going to write the code. You're going to write the help desk article. You're going to design the button. You're going to call the first 10 people who use it and ask them what they thought. If you're in marketing, you're not just going to run the ad. You're going to sit in on the sales call. You're going to handle the first customer support ticket that comes from it. You're going to go to the factory and see how the thing is made. You are going to walk the entire line from end to end, and it's going to be painful. You are going to see all the cracks. You're going to feel the frustration your users feel. You're going to see how the sausage is made, and it's going to be ugly. Good. You'll be the only person in your organization who understands the whole picture. You'll be the only one who can see the simple, obvious solutions that everyone else is blind to because they're all stuck in their silos. Do this for 30 days. Own one thing, and you will learn more than you have in the last 3 years. You will stop being a component. You will start being a builder. You will start being a leader. This isn't just about products. This is about your life. You are the designer of your life. Are you owning it end to end, or are you blaming marketing and your boss and the economy and your parents? Are you just a component in someone else's machine? You have to own the whole thing. Your habits, your education, your relationships, your failures. It's all your responsibility. This is the journey. It doesn't end here. If you are committed to owning your work, to owning your life, to becoming a carpenter who builds with excellence, then subscribe, press the like button, join the movement. Your time is limited. Don't waste it building someone else's dream, or worse, building your dream with cheap wood. Go own the details. Go build something insanely great. Stay hungry. Stay foolish.